Okay, but first of all, doesn't this dress look a little familiar to you? Isn't that the dress that Bom wore for her Wanna Go Back performance on Queen where she shaded YG? Maybe Somi is trying to tell us something. Let me take a look at this. What is that? Oh my god. Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina and today we are going to do a little episode of Kpop Investigations where I basically take a subject and do a little bit of a deep dive, do some second-gen comparisons, and share with you my super scientific results. Which happens to be Somi's much anticipated comeback with her new single, What You Waiting For. And it seems like we've been waiting forever! That was a bad joke. But it sounds about YG, doesn't it? And I know what you're thinking, she's under the black label. But you know what? YG can't fool me. So in light of this, because YG seems to have a copyright over my face, I think I'm just going to keep this clown emoji over it. But for real, I am not risking another false copyright claim from that piece of not my cup of tea company. So we're gonna be very careful with the editing of this. But as we all know, Somi has finally released her first comeback as a solo artist with the song What You Waiting For. Even after her label's YouTube channel got hacked and her third teaser was deleted. But I have to say, even from the teasers, it definitely wasn't what I was expecting, and I feel like a lot of people are on that same wavelength. I've seen plenty of comments saying that it sounds very westernized, that it doesn't feel like a K-pop song. So I thought we could dive into that for this video. Actually, I'm gonna stop you right there to remind you to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have before I inevitably end up in YG's dungeon too. So first of all, it seems that this song, much like Birthday, her debut, is quite polarizing for a lot of people. You either think it's a bop or you think it's underwhelming. And there's no doubt that the songs are obviously quite different in concept, sound, everything. Even styling, so far, I don't know. Seems like we're stepping into Birthday territory, but not quite, we will see. But nevertheless, the comment that I'm seeing the most is really that this sounds so westernized. This sounds like it could probably top the charts in the Western market, but for the K-pop sound, it's just not there. So we definitely see right off the bat that there's something about this song that just lacks that K-pop nature to it. And I'll admit, I felt it too. Like, obviously compared to Birthday, this is a huge shift. Even from the teasers itself, like the aesthetic of the teaser, it didn't seem like a K-pop song. It seemed quite different, admittedly. And honestly, like, describing that K-pop element can be quite hard, right? Like, how do you know that a K-pop song sounds like a K-pop song? It's something that you just feel in your heart, but I'm gonna try to describe it as your resident K-pop boomer. So it seems a lot of people are pointing to the fact that there's a lot of English lyrics within the song, so therefore that's kind of a reason behind why it feels a bit less like K-pop. But I simply do not agree. I don't know what's this new trend with people bringing this up. I don't feel like this was a conversation back in the day. Back in the day, K-pop stars would make like entirely English songs. Miss A, Love Alone, Big Bang #1, 21 Can't Nobody English version. Do you know what I mean? There has been a history of completely entirely English songs within K-pop, but no one ever stopped to think like, oh, this isn't K-pop anymore. This seems like a new conversation, especially with idols like Alexa who have come into the K-pop world and kind of have these half English, half Korean songs. It's obviously open to criticism, as most things are, but for me, like, mixing languages just comes so naturally. I just feel like wanting to keep languages completely separate is kind of a testament to how people value the purity of language, and then that ties into prescriptive grammar, and that ties into a lot of really terrible things. And I know that seems like a stretch, but it really does. It starts with you and how you view and perceive language, and then how you push that onto other people and uphold values that really don't serve you. If you're bilingual, you would know that like education systems are really very pushy when it comes to separating the languages, but then when you're with your friends, why does it feel so natural to just mix the languages up? I mean, that's just natural speech. But the systems don't appreciate that because the systems value purity, the systems value elitism. Like, can you just let me code switch in peace? Gosh, there is absolutely no doubt in this world world that if you mix languages together and if you don't speak a standard version of a language, that people view you as less than. It's a whole thing. I could talk about this all day long, but I digress. That rant was probably unnecessary, and I admittedly probably cut most of it out, but you guys seem to enjoy when I talk about sociolinguistics, so there it was. So another thing that felt very un-K-pop to me was definitely the lack of color. And this can be seen directly when we compare the colors within Birthday and then the colors within her new song. Of course, Birthday was super colorful, full of obnoxious fashion, and was very bright. It was undoubtedly a K-pop song, a teen crush song, and its existence in the K-pop world was not questioned, though admittedly the fashion, haha, will go down in history. But then suddenly with this comeback, we see that the color palettes are a lot more dimmed down. I feel like they're a lot more gray toned in nature. And this isn't the most typical in K-pop. Like if I think back to a lot of K-pop songs that do this, they're not like the typical K-pop songs, you know? So we have like Tableau with Tomorrow. We see they're in a desert. It's not very saturated with colors, right? Or 21's Lonely. You see there's like these blue gray tones to the song. It kind of takes away from like mainstream K-pop, right? Mainstream K-pop is very colorful, very saturated, full of colors. It's very visually appealing in that sense. But again, it's not that it's not unheard of in K-pop, it's just that we don't see it the most often. And it seems like she's taking a path that is just kind of straying away from what the mainstream market would kind of typically go for, which sounds like a counterintuitive thought, right? Because a lot of people are saying that she made this song for the Western market. But then in that same breath, how could we say that she's also straying away from it? Here's a little secret that second gen K-pop taught me. Western audiences don't want Western K-pop. I don't think Somi did this to fit a Western audience. I think she did it to fit whatever she wanted, because the Western market wants K-pop, not Western K-pop. Western K-pop typically, historically, has not done well in the West. We've seen it with so many groups, many of whom have legitimately paved the way for your faves to succeed in the US. But we see that succeeding in the US doesn't actually require a US debut, and we had to try and try back in the day to debut in the US and try again to recognize that that's not what Western audiences want. So the Wonder Girls, Girls' Generation, 21, Big Bang, those are definitely groups that paved the way literally in the US. This is not up for discussion. K-pop has it down to a science these days, and we have second gen to thank for that. I'm just laughing because I know I'm gonna get in so much shit for saying that, and it's literally not even a controversial statement, but oh well. You're gonna see my face on Twitter and everyone's gonna be like, she's a BTS hater and a Blackpink anti. I love those groups and I'm so incredibly proud of what they've accomplished. I mean, what they've accomplished in their own rights is what they've accomplished. I mean, there's no taking that away from them. But like, it's me, guys. Do you really not expect me to bring up, you know, Heartbreaker by G-Dragon featuring Flo Rida, or the Wonder Girls Like Money featuring Akon? Anyways, I thought that was a friendly discussion. You can let me know how obnoxious it seemed in your eyes. I don't know. Some people like my humor and love when I bring up second gen, but then like on the other hand, a lot of people hate it, and it's like, are you okay? In that sense, I don't think this is made for the Western market, because I don't think this is something the Western market would want, and we know this through trial and error. We know that historically this isn't a song that would make it in the Western market. I think Somi just did what felt right for her, and we'll actually talk a little bit more about that in another video coming up. Here's a little thumbnail concept teaser photo. Hope you guys are excited. But on a different note, like, what makes this song K-pop? Obviously, Somi is K-pop. We can't just arbitrarily decide to take that away from her. And I feel like where most of the K-pop essence comes from is definitely the performance, right? This choreography screams JYP, and I'm gonna tell you why. So the Black Label doesn't really have their own image yet, at least in my opinion. I don't see the Black Label as having like, oh, this is what the Black Label sounds like and looks like. I mean, we have a lot of influences coming into play. We have Somi, who trained under JYP for however many years. We have Teddy, who works for YG, so there's those YG vibes. But then we also have Somi's own vibes. And on the note of Teddy vibes, did anyone else, now this is the last time I'm gonna mention them, I think. But I feel like with some alterations, this could have been like a 21 Summer song. I don't know. I got some slight 21 vibes from it. I don't know. Blackjacks, let me know what you think. Kind of like Falling in Love mixed with Do You Love Me, mixed with In the Club, mixed with Go Away. Kind of, do you see it? Maybe I just miss them so much, and Somi's a blackjack, and I just like relate to her a lot. But back to JYP. I don't know why we went on that tangent, but it's fine. JYP choreography. Okay, I don't know if you noticed this, but JYP has a tendency as a company to pair the words of the choreography with the representation in hand motion. So if you're talking about a telephone, you know, ring, ring, ring of the telephone. If you're talking about love or hearts, you literally have heart hand motions. If you're talking about not wanting something or the word no, it's literally represented by an X. And I've noticed this from GOT7 to Miss A to ITZY to Twice. It feels like JYP represents the lyrics through very obvious hand motions. And it seems that she does this a lot in this song. I mean, even for What You Waiting For, she does the motion for, which honestly isn't the most typical for YG. So I thought I would bring that up because I thought it was really interesting to see all these different elements mixed. I mean, that's kind of what's interesting about the Black label, right? Is that there's so many sources of inspiration. We have what Somi wants, and then what Somi went through at JYP, like her training. That sounded like, I'm not trying to imply she went through anything bad, but I just mean like her training. And then we have these YG vibes because of Teddy. So I thought it was just interesting that we can still see JYP. Even the concept, I feel like her concept is very teen crush in nature. But you know what? Back to our original question. Is this song a K-pop song? From a lot of the comments surrounding this, it seems that people think she should have stayed with the birthday concept, and people are a little weirded out that she changed this concept. But I personally think we should start normalizing this type of change in concept. I've mentioned this time and time again, but back in second gen, concepts changed all the time and no one really ever batted an eye. But in this new age of K-pop, it's like no one's ever happy. If you stay with one concept, people get bored. And then if you change it up, people are like, well, who is this? And they feel like they can't recognize the artist anymore. I mean, just take a look at Twice. I also made a video about how they have changed, how people were complaining that Twice always did super cute concepts, but then when they changed concepts, people were like, what the fuck is this? I think we should normalize this because realistically, your idols are not one-dimensional. And I think Somi has a lot of depth, and she might not want to express the same feelings or concepts over and over again. And that should be okay. But I would love to know what you think. Do you think we're too critical of changes these days? Or do you think it's better for groups to just stick with one look, one concept, one type of sound? Okay, so that is basically it for this video, even though I'm so mad that the audio has not even been recording this whole time. Can I even upload this? Will you guys be mad? I feel like I was really on a roll here. I don't know if I can replicate that. But I did want to add this super cool segment where I recreate K-pop outfits for my dogs. Yes. So my mom actually bought these pillowcases and they're so obnoxious, but she told me I can't put any holes in them. Maybe if she stands Blackpink, I don't know. So just enjoy this little compilation. Okay, so that is actually it for this video. Thank you so much if you made it to this point. And since you made it this far, you might as well click on another one of my videos to show your love and support and to show YouTube. I was gonna say that I'm not an annoying second gen stan, but that's a lie. I don't know, I'm going close to the microphone, it's not turned on. You can also join my channel memberships by clicking on the join button next to the subscribe button. These are the lovely individuals who make up my channel. Thank you so much for supporting me. As for me, I'm gonna go cry in a corner because bye.